is committed to understanding how education impacts so many people in our country, as well as committed to public service. He is a graduate of Andover Academy. He's a graduate of Davidson University, where he was a star football player back in the day when we were a little bit younger. He also is a union stagehand. He's worked to put on all sorts of programs here in Charlotte over the course of the years. From the years 2017 to 2023, he was a city council member here in Charlotte, North Carolina. He also served as our mayor pro tem. We're incredibly excited with him. Right now, he is running for the North Carolina Commissioner of Labor, where he is committed to, and I'm going to hold him to this. I love the fact that he's doing this, committed to making sure that we have safe working environment and a living wage for all of our people. I first met this brother when we were on the street together the first night of the Keith Lamont Scott uprisings here in Charlotte, where he was putting his body on the line to make sure that justice was done. My brother, Braxton Winston, we're grateful that you're here with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Reverend Sadler. And Reverend Sadler is definitely using his artistic license here in terms of being a star football player. I definitely played some football, but thank you again, and a little bit of a point of a personal privilege. As Reverend Sadler alluded to, I met this gentleman 7 years ago when we were getting showered in tear gas and ducking flashbangs after the death of Keith Lamont Scott while he was waiting for his kids to get off the school bus. That uprising coincided with a study that shook the Charlotte community at its core, that we were ranked 50 out of 50 in terms of upward economic mobility. This, one of the banking centers of the world, was one of the most inequitable cities, and it was proven that this was written in policy. Well, less than a year later, I was inspired to run for city council, and I was elected, and we championed policies that attacked this at its core. But look, I bring you good news. Recently, we've realized that we are no longer 50 out of 50. We have moved up 12 spots to 38 because we have been passing common sense policies and going out to the community to build that common ground, to provide policies that are not just based in partisan platforms, but are in common sense and really embody the visions of the community. We certainly have a lot more work to do, but we need to ensure that we are continuing to win elections. We need to ensure that we are continuing to win here in 2024, whether that's here in Mecklenburg, North Carolina, or all across this country, so that we build more equitable communities. I know something about getting the vote out here in Mecklenburg County. That year, after the death of Keith Lamont Scott, I brought forward a platform, not based in a partisan platform, but that spoke to a more equitable, accessible, and interconnected community. And we went to parts of Charlotte and parts of Mecklenburg County where they didn't expect us to show up. And I was elected with over 72,000 votes when the cycle before the leading vote getter was only elected with over 44,000 votes. So the people of Charlotte will come out to vote if you bring them a message. That's why this effort that the Center for Common Ground is doing is so vital and so integral. And this is why I decided to run for North Carolina Commissioner of Labor. Not many people know that our executive branch here in North Carolina is made up of 10 elected positions that operate independently of one another. Can anybody, just by a raise of hands, for those in North Carolina, can you in 30 seconds explain what the Council of State is to your neighbor, to your family, or your friends? Probably not too many can do that. So this is why the work that is happening over these next 86 days is going to be so integral to inform people of what's going on, right? The position labor that I'm working for have always been political, but should not necessarily be partisan. What is partisan about coming today with a fair day's pay after a fair day's work? What is partisan about getting a break throughout the day so that you can use the bathroom and collect yourself? What is partisan about having access to good, clean water at work, or protection from the sun if you're working outside, or a place to cool down if you're working in high heat conditions and inside? What is partisan about demanding that you don't get fired for demanding those things, for standing up for your rights under the law? Here in North Carolina, again, not many people understand that we have the opportunity to elect a person that implements these laws. We often talk about a very gerrymandered General Assembly and not being able to make laws that lead to more equitable communities in North Carolina. Well, we have the ability to elect 10 positions, including my own, whose job is to interpret, administer, and execute those laws. So make sure that you're doing everything that you can to support candidates like myself up and down the ballot, and the work that the Center for Common Ground is doing to let folks in Mecklenburg County and all across North Carolina know that folks have a choice at the ballot in November, and it goes beyond the president, it goes beyond the governor, and it really does seep into every corner of what makes our communities great. So thank you all for having me. I look forward to continuing to work with Team Unity here in Mecklenburg County, and everybody who's doing everything that is necessary to get folks registered, get folks educated, and get folks out to the polls starting on October 17th when early voting starts, and ultimately on November 5th on Election Day.